What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another Geeky Gecko Creations video. In this video, I just want to share the good news about Herptile and him moving to a new facility. If you don't know who this guy is, give him a follow if you are interested in top-notch reptile care, cool and unique reptiles, as well as top-notch bioactive designs and setups. This guy has some great techniques and stuff that you can learn from him. So let's check out this video, see how his move is going, and comment on what's going on.
What's up? It's Herptile, and we're back on YouTube. I've neglected it for too long. You know, this is where Herptile, the name, started. I made the name in middle school with my friends. We thought it was funny, Herp. It sounded funny to us. It's still funny to a lot of people. But the first Herptile video is not there. I deleted it maybe freshman year because I moved schools. I didn't want the kids I was trying to make friends with realize I was a weirdo.
All right, so real quick, take a look at Herptile's design. Like, the way that he lays out his caging is so beautiful. This is something that I want to mimic with leopard geckos, which is why I started making like this video right here where I kind of show how you can use like a 10-gallon setup and make it bioactive for a leopard gecko. Because he breeds in these enclosures and he has obviously the lights going on, the misters going on. It just looks so nice. How cool would it be to be able to do that with leopard geckos and show off leopard geckos in that way? So this is kind of the trajectory that I would like to take leopard gecko keeping and breeding. I just think it looks so professional, clean, and beautiful for people to look at.
I made some videos in middle school of herping and of course deleted them. I totally regret that, but you can still see some of the original Herptile videos over 10 years old, and we're going back to the roots. On Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I'm active. Maybe you knew that I moved facilities. Well, maybe I need to back up a little. I've been breeding reptiles full-time for 4 or 5 years now. So, of course, I've always been doing it before then, but it's been full-time. It's really been good and been super successful. Thank God. I can't take any credit for just the luck and the blessings that I've had over the past 5-6 years. And it's just...
So I did notice on Herptile's Instagram a long time ago, Christ is Lord. And I was like, oh, how cool. Like, I've seen him in person and stuff like that, and he's always seemed like a really nice guy, but I didn't know he was like that much of a Christian. These animals are so beautiful right here. Starry Night Tokay geckos. Gosh, bucket list lizard. He's just got the coolest stuff. Herptile is super cool. I have been seeing a lot of people proclaim their faith in the reptile hobby recently. Obviously, Brian Barczyk, Brian Cusco, Gecko Man, like that whole crew, a lot of those guys are actually Christian, and I didn't know that Herptile really was as well.
It's just been so amazing. So many people support and love what I'm doing, and I cannot take much credit. So, regardless of that, I moved facilities to a smaller spot. I really didn't downsize that much on the animals. I'm probably going to produce more animals this year than I ever have, but I just got a smaller spot to save money on rent, electricity, just insurance, everything. So, why not? And with social media, that helps pay for all this too, you know. Got to live a normal life, pay for food, gas, an apartment, and, you know, family, and on top of keeping all these animals. So I'm going to document this. This might not be a very exciting video. This might not be a very clean cut video, but I'm going to document the move. It's going to be hectic, and it's going to be good. I want to throw a huge shout out before I forget at any point in the video to ZoomEd for hooking me up with new enclosures. They're sending me a bunch for this new place. I've been using these Herpcult acrylics, which honestly work really well for my micro geckos, but for the annoying...
Yeah, so those cages that he's using that look so see-through and so nice, they're also lightweight because they're acrylic, plastic, not glass, but they're from a company called Herpcult. And he's probably partnered with Herpcult for so long because like a lot of his cages are Herpcult. But yeah, they are a really awesome company if you want to check them out. Herpcult.com. They got some really great stuff.
I need bigger enclosures. I've used the ZoomEds before. It worked the best for me in the past, and I'm going to go back to that. One thing I've learned is that I mess up a lot. I mean, when I'm 26, I've been doing this for, you know, my whole adult life. And I've learned the hard way a lot of things. So I'm also making these videos to tell you what not to do. If you ever want to do this, whether it's keeping one pair of lizards or you want to start your whole own breeding operation, well, maybe one of my videos can help you in some way or another. I'm going to be filming this move, and then after that we're going to be doing enclosure builds, care videos, general collection videos, anything I can think of. I'll even be visiting friends' collections, filming there, maybe some herping that can help us give insight into how we keep these animals. All sorts of stuff. I'm just going to make as much content as I can for you guys, and whatever you like, I hope you tell me and I can make more of it, because in the end, I want to make content that I enjoy but also you enjoy, because I'm making it for you. If I was making it for myself, I wouldn't be posting it here. So let me know what you guys like. I want it to be good, and if it ends up doing good, it can help pay for this place, which would help a lot. I always tell people, if I never had to sell a lizard, I wouldn't. I would keep every single baby I hatch, because that's how much I enjoy them and I love them. It's out of necessity that I breed them to sell them. I really breed them just because I enjoy keeping the animals.
So make sure you tell him what you like in a comment below. I'm just going to share what I like right now in case Armin from Herp Time ever sees this. I love your bioactive setups and builds. It helps give me ideas for how to improve in my own operation in different ways that I can make the caging look fantastic. We want to show these animals off as much as possible. We don't want to keep them in dark, light restrained enclosures as like the standard forever. We want to improve. And so, Armin, I've actually started having conversations about partnering with like rack companies and stuff like that to promote like even UVB and over the head lighting that can shine down on reptiles in a rack. Anything to just start making steps towards improving the quality for our animals. I think the first like 30 years of this hobby was about what is the minimalistic way we can keep these animals, and now it is definitely changing to what is the maximalist way we could keep these animals, even as a breeder and a large operation, to look nice, function well, and be enriching for the animal. That is definitely the wave of the future, and Armin is way ahead of that because he's already there and been doing that. So
Of course, it's awesome to share them with people. I would give them away if I could. But yeah, I'm rambling. Without further ado, let me just show you the new Herp Time, and I probably won't show you the old one. We're just going to start on a clean slate here, and hope.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever saw old complete facility tour. Battleship, if you like that, shout out to them. All right, we'll get Armin his AdSense.
This is going to be the new Herp Time facility. It is smaller, but it's going to work perfect.
I wonder where he is.
Down here stays a lot cooler than the second level. This will be for frogs, also stuff like Shinosaurus, maybe some Europlatus, so species that like it colder are all going to be in this section. And here is going to be quarantine for any new animals also.
Okay, first of all, I want to know how he got approved for a mass scale breeding operation in like an office front like that, probably connected to other offices, because I've been looking in Arizona, and I kid you not, we actually hired a commercial real estate agent, and he looked for 3 months hardcore within our budget, and everybody turned him down and said no animals. So that is one thing to consider when you are about to like invest in a warehouse and retail space and stuff like that. You really have to make sure, obviously, that your landlords are okay with it.
Any wild caught stuff that might be sold is going to go in there, and I'm going to really kind of seal this off. This is going to be like the
quarantine room, because he deals with a lot of wild type stuff, which is some of the coolest and rarest stuff, like that tokay gecko I showed you a second ago, the Starry Night tokay. Let's just look at that again. I mean, who wouldn't want to work with these? But these are imports, right? I mean, maybe these are captive, I forget, but he works with a ton of imports. Like, he imports a lot of stuff from all different kinds of collections all around the world. So when you do that, you definitely want to have a quarantine room. And even to a certain degree, that's really hard because the air ducts and the air system is probably all connected in the facility, but you want to do what you can, right? I do as much as I can here in this operation to keep like any health concern animals separate and wash my hands and use different tools and stuff like that for like our normal section as well as like our health section. But at the end of the day, how effective really is that? It's more or less just like appeasing to my conscience to know that I'm doing all that I can. But at the end of the day, you are under one roof, and if there's germs and parasites and toxins or whatever the case is, it will get out there somehow.
Packing area, obviously safe, so I'm going to do my RO water here. Bathroom, of course, for when duty calls. Storage.
Duty calls.
General storage. This is really the only storage I have, so I'm going to have to get rid of a lot of junk I'm not a hoarder, but I have a lot of stuff, so
Oh,
that's the
cool.
only
It's a
place I
second
can put
level.
anything. Now, this is where the real magic is going to happen. Of course, lots of cool frog stuff down here, but this is where the anole and micro gecko stuff is going to happen. So let's go upstairs. Once you come up here, it's a lot warmer than down there. It's probably 10 degrees warmer. So this whole wall behind me is going to be the adult anole enclosure that should be able to fit.
Anoles
around
is like
50,
his
give or
specialty.
take, of the 18, 18, 24 zoom heads. This wall is going to be a bunch of 12, 12, 18 zoom heads, which will house mostly baby anoles and maybe smaller species. 2 walls, some more baby anole cages, and the rest of the room will be micro geckos. So you can imagine these walls are going to be covered in cages. So the micro geckos are all going to be on rolling carts. So they'll mostly fit here. These ones probably won't move. There'll be an aisle of micro geckos in the middle. And
By the way, rolling carts, as you expand your facility, 1000% necessary and super beneficial, because dust from the animals and the dirt that you're using gets into the air, settles on the shelves and the ground and under the shelves. And unless you're able to move those periodically and sweep under there, you're just going to have a very, very dusty environment.
And those rolling carts will actually move. So when I want to film videos, have some more space to work on the anoles, I can move the micro geckos out of the way. Also, if I want to film the micro geckos, I can push them more towards the anoles, film in front of them. It's going to work out pretty cool. I also have this cool balcony out here. I'm going to play around with keeping some animals outside. This is Southern California, so the temperatures are pretty ideal for some species, like green anoles, maybe some species of Cuban false chameleons. So I can fit, I think the math was 6 enclosures right on that ledge.
Wow.
And then if I really wanted to stack some here outside, I could fit 8 more, so I could really maximize that space. I'm going to start messing around.
I guess California doesn't have a problem with animal codes and whatnot, because if he's even keeping some outside, you know, that could be considered, you know, on office property, that could be considered like something that they would worry about. But that's really cool if he's already like vetted this with the landlords or whatever, and they got no problem with it.
Around with that, because as you can kind of see, these trees block a lot of the sun.
That is
the sun
nice.
rises over there, it comes here. It's only hitting this balcony maybe 2 or 3 hours midday, and then the rest of the day it's pretty cool. So it should work pretty well. There is one problem though. I don't know if you guys can see. Let me show you some obvious ones. See that? See that?
No?
See that?
What? Termites?
Normally, no problem if you're keeping ball pythons.
Oh, holes for
if you're
escapes.
keeping a monitor lizard. But when you're keeping micro geckos this big, baby anoles this big, that can escape and get away into those cracks in like the blink of an eye, even just cupping one up to ship it, that's a huge problem. So what I'm gonna do today, before I move anything in here, I'm gonna look at every square inch of the ceiling, the corners, the walls, anywhere there could be a possible breakout that a gecko could escape.
Breach.
We're gonna fill it in, and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do that. So to fill in these gaps, I'm gonna use Great Stuff foam,
Yeah,
which I
that
use
stuff's
for
really
backgrounds
good.
a lot. And I'm also gonna use some silicone, which I also
Silicone's
use
really
for
good,
backgrounds.
too.
So this is just like creating an enclosure, except we're filling in all the gaps. So it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm gonna probably start down here.
And I'm going to kind of
find any
fast forward to the part where he has the
Do the after.
cages.
Uh,
He also partners with like ZoomEd and a lot of these
for doing
bigger
this.
companies.
I'm
That is
making a lot of
wild.
videos
Look
with
at
these
that.
enclosures. I'm upgrading all my
100
adult anoles from 12, 12, 18
giant
to these
cages.
18, 18, 24. So they're gonna really, really be happy. Some other geckos are getting upgrades, and then we have some smaller enclosures for the baby anoles. Now,
Very cool.
this is the fun part that you guys aren't gonna see on video. I'm gonna carry each and every one of these enclosures myself. Camera lady's not helping. I have no help today from friends or anyone. They're all going, not in here, all the cages here I already have. They're at the other shop that's coming later this week. Those are all going upstairs, this tiny stairway, all the way up here, and I'm gonna set them up later. So, but gotta get them out of the parking lot and in here safely. So wish me luck. I'm definitely getting my workout in today.
That is interesting. He wanted to downsize because 3,000 lizards is a lot. I know the lizards he works with are really small. But in my observation, his company probably does pretty well, and his social media really well as well. So financially, he should be doing pretty well. But obviously, California's expensive. Reptile keeping's expensive. Lighting, electricity, water, like he said. And it can be a very tough hobby because obviously you don't have a 401k, you don't have like health benefits and stuff like that. You're probably on like government aid and stuff. So breeding reptiles full time definitely has its challenges, and maybe that's something I'll do in a video as well. And it really also depends on the species you're working with, how long you've been doing it, obviously how much profit you're bringing in and stuff. But there's so much money that goes into supporting these animals that no matter how much money you get out, it can be impossible or very difficult to actually create a sustainable, comfortable living heading into retirement, right? Because heading into retirement, you want to be able to either one, run the business for all of retirement and like hire employees to help you so that you have money and profits coming in, or two, just do reptiles part-time so that you still have a 401k and social security and all that stuff and medical benefits all of your life into retirement. And then when you retire, you not only have the government aid, but also now you have like the small business hobbyist income that you're making. And that was my initial plan. But then when COVID happened and I lost my job at Allstate Insurance and all that stuff, I was just kind of like, you know what, let me try the reptiles full time. And I went into it. But it's very difficult. I will say it's not easy whatsoever to do full time, especially if you have a family and stuff like that. So yeah, I say that because I don't know how well he's doing financially. I'm sure he's doing pretty good. He's got some really nice stuff, and he sells a lot. But if even he had to downsize to save on electricity and all that kind of stuff, and he's probably the number one person at what he does in the world, and specifically in America, which is the hugest consumerism country when it comes to reptiles. I mean, you could argue Asia and those other countries, but in America, we really go really extravagant with it. Like as far as the supplies, the setup, the lighting and all that. In a lot of those like Indonesia or importation countries, a lot of them are kept kind of in, you probably don't want to see how they're kept, but the caging and way that they're kept is probably a lot less. But that's just in general. There's obviously really good breeders overseas and around the world. But I would say America probably has the number one largest, highest end consumerist spending budget when it comes to reptiles anywhere in the world. And Armin is the number one person at what he does in the number one country for selling reptiles high end for consumerism. And he still has to watch his bottom line and stuff. So that really speaks to the difficulty of doing this full time. And something I've heard a lot of people say recently in a lot of podcasts is reptiles is actually better to do as a small hobbyist breeder with a full-time or part-time job rather than trying to do it full-time, because then you're going to try to cut so many corners and minimalize the way that keeping the animals is done, which is the way it's been done for the last 30 years. But a lot is changing now in the hobby, and so hopefully breeders, including myself, which has a desire to see these kind of changes, can make those changes and do better for the animals, as well as just make better life decisions on what's best to support themselves and their family, and maybe just doing reptiles part-time instead of trying to do it full-time or something. I don't know. I'm rambling now too, but let's continue on.
All right, a few hours later, boom, boom. Cages.
Hours. It took him hours to move that in there. Look, it's sunset
Definitely gonna
now.
sleep good tonight. Very tired.
Yeah, those are heavy
But
cages.
now is the fun part. Unwrapping them and
Cutting those
seeing
open.
if my old system, which was wall mounted, is gonna work. These cages are heavy.
That's what I was wondering, because he showed it in the beginning of this video. He showed, where is it? Did he cut it out? I could have swore at the beginning of this video he showed the Zoom Ed enclosures like moving in. I don't know why I'm not seeing that right now. Maybe he edited it and cut it out, but check this out. He's coming up to it right here.
Electrical stuff here, and if it was gonna hold the weight and all that good stuff.
Actually, let me rewind this. I want to see how he does this.
You'll never see this part of the video. And if it does, mounted is gonna work.
Because those mounting systems are only supposed to hold 40 pounds per foot, I believe it is. Now, there might be some heavy duty ones or something, but I actually have those wire rack systems in my leopard gecko room, and I believe that Home Depot says 40 pounds per foot. Those cages are really heavy. Dirt is really heavy. I was really worried when I saw the picture of all of those glass cages on that wiring, but let's see what he says.
work. These cages are heavier than my acrylic ones, old ones. So I'm gonna do a little test run, and if it doesn't work, you will never see this part of the video. And if it does, then awesome. Here we go. It worked. Yes, it worked. I was actually a little nervous if there was gonna be enough room, because I couldn't go all the way down. I have electrical stuff here, and if it was gonna hold the weight and all that good stuff. So it worked. This is the old wire shelving that I have at the original, or not the original, but the current facility. And I have this small piece that I want to test out to make sure before I do the whole wall. Because if this didn't work, I was going to do some metal shelving that I have. But it's 24 inches deep, and that's 6 inches more than the enclosures. And I'm trying to really maximize space here because I am going to have a lot of enclosures in here. And 6 inches is a lot. It's a lot, if you know what I mean. These fit well. The light bars fit perfect. The ZoomEd T5s.
Commercial. Let's give him his AdSense. By the way, when you watch commercials for people, it does
Kindle is
help
a game
them
changer
make
for
money.
anyone who wants to sell print on demand or is already selling print on demand.
And if I want to install misting, which I probably will, even though I'm debating if I should go back to hand misting, perfect amount of space. And yeah, I'm going to throw some bags of Reptile soil in there. See what happens overnight.
Yeah, if he comes into
I don't
broken
even think an
glass the
earthquake
next
would
morning.
be an
Oh
issue.
yeah, that's right. They have earthquakes.
They're there. They're not going anywhere. So
That's pretty sturdy.
there is only about 2 inches of overhang, which luckily the ZoomEd right there catches. So any weight will be on there. There's not going to be a whole lot of weight in the...
Okay, actually what's giving me a lot more confidence with this is the bars that he's using, the arms that come out the wall. He has one every 16 inches, it looks like. In my setup, I have one bar every, I think it's like 3 feet or something, because I'm keeping very light stuff on there. But that makes sense that if you could put those arms every 16 inches, it's going to be a lot more expensive. Those bars are not like super cheap. I think they're like $3 or $4 each or something like that. So if you're adding 100 bars, that's a few extra $100. But if that's what's needed to support the extra weight, then that's what's needed. That certainly gives me more confidence. However, these full of dirt, and then I know he likes to do a lot of like water features and stuff like that. Maybe he won't do those on these, but let's just see what he shows. But that was the concern with heaviness. Oh, logs. He puts like a lot of logs in his enclosures. But hey, this is the guy. He's testing it out for us. And this is how we see if this is possible. And if this is possible, this is one of the most simple, cheap, relatively cheap compared to like buying racking systems and stuff, and beautiful setups that you can do. Imagine somebody walking into your house and seeing this instead of a tub system, right?
enclosure. Just maybe an inch or so of soil max and then some branches. So not going to be anything crazy. No rocks on the background. It's definitely not.
Oh yeah,
these.
he does
This
do a lot of
whole
heavy
wall
rocks.
is going to be these. And then that wall is going to be these. And more walls that need to be filled. So we'll see
Nice.
how that goes. So this is the first line of business. 2 days later, and they're still standing. So safe to say I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the floating racks. I'm building these
Floating
micro
racks.
geckos right
I
now.
like that
Today
name.
is the big move, moving most of the animals besides the anoles, because obviously I still need to do that and set those enclosures up. I still have a
So
tested it, and I was confident that it would be okay.
look at that.
And
That's gorgeous.
so far, so good. This was over the course of 2 days.
See, you can see each one of these arms that I'm talking about are about 16 inches apart, because that's how far the studs are apart, I believe. Oh, and also you'll need more vertical bars. That's what makes it a lot more expensive. So you'll need a few $100s extra worth of arms, and then you'll need a few $100s extra worth of vertical bars. My vertical bar setup was probably every third or fourth stud, because I'm not using, I don't have stuff that's very heavy. But yeah, he has stuff that's very heavy. But look at that. This floating style setup, as he calls it, that's one of the most beautiful setups. And your house is made for this already. You have wood beams in your wall every 16 inches in a room. This is so easy to do for anybody. And I would seriously encourage people to use this as an example of how to create a floating reptile room where any dust or escaped animals on the bottom, you can just like, you can look and see and clean everything up super easy because there's nothing under there. So that's the problem with like racking systems and stuff, is they're plopped down on the floor, and then sometimes they're not super easy to move. And if an animal escapes, it can get caught behind a rack, but not in this setup.
As I did this, I am going to show you guys more of how herp time looks in this video, so stay tuned for that. But for now, enjoy watching toiling putting these things.
I do
on
like
the wall.
sped
Thank
up
you again,
videos.
Zoomed, for sending me these. This is definitely upgrading the animals. Gonna
Dang,
be really
if they
fun
comped
to
him that for
keep them in them,
free,
I'm gonna enjoy them way more. And honestly,
that's
it's way
gotta
easier to
be
clean this glass when you got big
$10,000
and
or
old
more or
poops. Geckos, it's easier for the acrylic, but the anoles, I think glass works. Oh man, you guys, it's done. The large cages are on the wall.
that is gorgeous.
It's time to clean this mess up.
Gorgeous.
And after that's cleaned up, I'm gonna make more mess and put the lights on. So let's get to that.
Yeah, I like the way he does his lighting too. That's what really brings it all together, in my opinion, is the lighting that shows off the cages. If you don't have the lighting, it doesn't look nearly as nice. You need the lighting.
I don't think I'm gonna film cleaning this. I'll probably film getting the lights. All right, we got all the lights on the zoom eds. Oof, it looks good. Now all the anoles are still at the other shop, and I need to get them over here ASAP because I need to get out of that shop. I got most of them.
Those are all T5s too. That's not even like cheap LEDs. T5 UVBs are pretty expensive each. He has a pretty elaborate setup, but it's really awesome. That's like doing the most for your animals, right?
Micro geckos over here, they're all on these
Look at the
racks.
micros.
They
That's
need
cool.
their lights too, but they're fine. For now, I want to do these lights because it's going to be a pain more than those. I'm going to set these up kind of bare bones. Of course, I'm going to make them really nice, bioactive. That's the whole point of using these larger enclosures. But to get the animals over here, I'm just going to do some Reptisoil branches, kind of how I keep them over there. They're totally fine that way. But it's definitely not what we're going to do full time in the end. But just to get animals out of that place and over here, I'm going to start putting Reptisoil in. And I'll probably film once that's done. Kind of a pain, and no one wants to watch me just open bags of dirt and fill these up.
We do.
Let me show you kind of what downstairs is looking like. I don't think I've shown that yet.
Ooh,
Of course,
downstairs. Nice.
this wall here is going to have the 40, 12, 12, 18.
All right, let's go downstairs. It's going to be another commercial. Every time you skip, there might be a commercial.
Out on it usually, and
maybe
just
not.
because I like the animals and I want them to go to the right people. But I think I'm going to make it a smaller part of herp time and just focus more on the breeding, focus on the building cool enclosures, inspiring you guys how to build your enclosures for uncommon species. So for now, that's all I have. I'll get back to you when upstairs is done.
Oh, did I miss it? Maybe.
Frogs, or if I want to focus on more
Maybe this is downstairs.
whatever you want to call it. Kind of using
Oh,
the
yeah.
cages for storage right now. So this is all going to be Shinosaurus actually on the top.
Ooh,
And deciding if I'm
Shinosaurus,
going to
those
do
are cool.
water paludariums on the bottom or planet tanks.
So this is where he's doing his heavy building, like hundreds of pounds building, and it looks like they are on more solid rack type setups, because those you could not do on the wall, but still really awesome. And I think he has some PVC setups here too, it looks like.
Question is if I want to get more frogs, using them for storage
Right
now.
here.
A lot of stuff there. And then I think this is going to be the quarantine area. So quarantine room, much smaller than before. I was thinking this was going to be quarantine room, but I'm realizing imports are cool, and it's cool to get cool animals for cool people who want to work with wild caught stuff. But I honestly end up losing out on it usually, and it's just because I like the animals and I want them to go to the right people. But I think I'm going to make it a smaller part of herp time and just focus more on the breeding, focus on the building cool and clean.
Isn't that crazy how some of the most exotic and rare animals are actually the cheapest? Not all the time, but it's because a popularity for them hasn't really been built up yet. And maybe there's a super high supply and a super low demand, either because people are unaware of them, don't know how to care for them. Maybe they're a tough species that are still getting established in captivity. Whatever the reason, some of the most rarest stuff around the world is actually the cheapest stuff. And so what he's saying is it's not really a super profitable part of his business, because he still has to buy it at wholesale and sell it at retail. And then when you're dealing with like imports, you have to treat them. It's risky exposing your operation to that, your captive bred stuff. And from what I'm gathering from what he's saying is he thinks it's just not worth it to be as big of a part of his operation as it was in the past.
Enclosures, inspiring you guys how to build your enclosures for uncommon species. So for now, that's all I have. I'll get back to you when upstairs is done for Knowles.
Ooh,
All right, you guys.
messy.
We got dirt in the tanks.
Nice.
A whole day later. Lots of sticks. Again, this is temporary. This is just for the next month or so, maybe a little longer, till I get these all really nice background out, plan it out, all the above. But this is almost what they were like at the old herb time. The nose will be fine. I want to make it prettier though. So you can kind of see, we got the UV up there, the Zoom Ed REPTILES 5.0 is what I use for the anoles. And
5.0.
I'm gonna either put the anoles in tonight or tomorrow. I'm gonna go have dinner right now, wash off my hands, and I'm sweaty. I also need to install all these on that wall. And of course, like a genius, I didn't realize until when I went to do this that this wall is cement.
Ooh.
Not like this, which is drywall with studs. This is a full concrete wall.
Interesting. What's he
So
gonna
going to
do?
require some extra work, so I might have to bang that out tonight to get these up and out of the way.
Can he drill those? Can he attach those brackets to a cement wall? I don't know, but if he could, yeah, that's going to be more work, I would imagine, but still give him an opportunity to expand on that wall with the floating shelves.
I got these up earlier today.
By the way, quick note, if you are going to be drilling into your walls, into the studs, get the help of somebody who is experienced with that, because you could drill into electrical wires and stuff and, number one, electrocute yourself, or number two, shut the power off to your house or your room and create a big problem for yourself. So you do want to be aware of the electrical boxes and all of that stuff when drilling into these studs.
And I got
His shirts are so cool too, by the way. Check him out. Herptime.com, I think, is his website or something, but he has some really cool like science fiction geeky shirts.
that rack up over there for some smaller enclosures. These micro gecko racks are kind of how they're going to be, but I'll show that later. Oh my gosh, it's a nightmare. Day later, boom, the baby rack is done. That wall, like I said before, was concrete, so that was not fun to drill into. I had to get a hammer drill from Home Depot, rented it, but we're all good to go.
I guess you can.
Look at this. One plug.
What is up, everybody? We are here at Medieval Times, and we are so excited to tell you about our new show.
For all those lights.
Oh, because they're
Oh yeah, the Zoom Ed T5.
Yeah.
REPTILES 5.0s is what I'm using here. The one gripe with them is that they don't daisy chain like some of the other
How did he
lights.
get it one plug then?
That's okay. When you got herp time, you make it all go into one plug. So, yeah.
Okay, new recommendation. Do a video on how you got all that to go in one plug, unless it is daisy chaining surge protectors to each other, which you're not supposed to do, which pretty much everyone does. But I just want to know if there's a different way he figured it out.
A little bit of effort there, but these are a slimmer fixture, low profile, really nice, so I prefer them, and totally worth it. And I love the Zoom Eds because they have one nice, beautiful viewing pane. Oh, it's like a little...
Yeah, that is the beautiful thing about front opening cages, is you don't ever have to worry about pulling the cage out to get in to get the gecko, so you can just open the front. It does create a little bit of a visual barrier, which I don't like the plastic in the front and stuff like that, but it's not too bad, number one, and number two, it's just way more convenient to be able to open the front.
Little work of art once you make a cool trim. And I am going to do that with all of these. So all of these are temporary just to get the animal set up, going. They're fine in there, but I do want to make it nicer for my viewing pleasure, and so that we can learn together how to make these cool enclosures for them. I think that's the end of this video, just because if I documented everything else to get this place fully moved into, we might be here for 3 more years and you'd never see this video. So for now, all the animals are at herp time. Everyone's set up. Basically, we're misting everyone tonight. We're feeding everyone tomorrow. I'd say it's a success, but I still do need to clean the other place. hopefully get my security deposit back for some of it. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I know this isn't like a super exciting video.
Pretty exciting.
But just stay tuned, and I am forced to make content because I told ZoomEd if they send me some cool cages, I'll make some cool videos. So they kept their end of the deal. They hooked me up with some cages, so I'm going to make some videos with them.
There you go.
And hopefully they turn out well. Hope you guys learn along the way with me.
Expect lots of long form from him, which, by the way, he was talking about how he's kind of really known on TikTok and like Instagram for his short form videos. So you can see his short form videos get into the tens of millions of views, and it's even more on TikTok. But you know, he hasn't really done too many long form videos. I mean, look, this is his last long form video, and it's just a bunch of shorts strung together 2 years ago. Here's another short long form video because it's in the vertical format, you know, another vertical format. Maybe he just did all his vertical formats that way. Here's a horizontal format 3 years ago. So basically, oh dang, look at young Armin over here. Look at this. Let's check this out.
All right, guys, what's up?
Oh my God.
It is herp time. Sorry, I
What's
haven't
the
made a
opening?
video forever. All right.
It's always funny looking back on your old videos. Oh, that's a alligator lizard, right? The emerald ones, or
Wow.
yeah, that's cool.
I don't know if you guys can see this.
Yeah,
I
we
don't know
can
if
see
it'll
it.
focus, but that's an absolutely beautiful.
Cool stuff. I guess I never realized he didn't have that many long form videos. I mean, he's only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Like 20 of them, but some of them are shorts that are strung together.
This hydrophobic lizard is my favorite, and I think it'll be yours for their neck. The main dewlaps on.
These are just shorts
This is
that
Anolis
are
vermiculatus.
strung together, which still did pretty well for him. 16,000 views for a long form video is really good. When you are doing shorts, you're not going to make any money on shorts unless you're getting videos in the millions. So some of these videos haven't taken off yet, but like videos that are like 13,000, 8,000, even like 30,000, those videos, you don't earn any money off of that. But if you were getting those kind of views on long form videos, like 16,000, 20,000, 14,000, if you're getting those kind of views on a lot of long form videos, that will make you pretty good money. And another thing to consider too is the sensational crowd, like making videos that are sensational. Like for example, I have this video right here. My most popular short is 69 million views of this, which was like a leopard gecko dropping its tail, 22 million of me helping a leopard gecko shed, almost 4 million of Tegus that dropped its tail, 3 million of this one. Those types of like viral content, those viewers are not necessarily your customers, and it can mess up the algorithm of your channel so that when you post videos, YouTube promotes those videos to this sensational crowd, but the sensational crowd doesn't care about how to breed leopard geckos. The sensational crowd doesn't care about bioactive setups and morphs and stuff like that. The sensational crowd cares about sensational stuff. And so you sort of hurt yourself in a way. You can make a lot of money by creating sensational content. So like, for example, this one short of mine right here probably made, this one with the Black Knight, probably made like $3,000 to $5,000, something like that, across those 70 million views. But those viewers could actually hurt the customer side of your channel once it comes to like long form videos, and who you are trying to get to buy animals from you is not the same people that are viewing your sensational videos. So that's why I don't really post a lot of sensational stuff at all anymore. You can see most of my latest stuff is just showing off geckos, because that is the audience that I want to show my videos to, because these 9,000 viewers, so think about it this way, 9,000 customers is better than 70 million non-customers. Does that make sense? So yeah, I made $5,000 off this video, but that was 3 years ago. And what income is now coming in based off of this video? Nothing, right? So you want to generate income based off of organic viewers that are going to actually be purchasing animals from you time after time again and in the future for all of eternity. That is who you want to appeal to. So I've stopped posting like sensational stuff, because I could post and repost all of my sensational content and I could get a ton of millions of views and money from that. But that's not what I want to do with my channel. I want my channel to be educational. I want it to be entertaining. I want it to be reptile consumer focused and not sensational focused. So I've kind of strayed away from that. And that's why you see me now just showing off more of like my collection and stuff, which, by the way, I have probably like 3 or 4 holdback videos that I need to make that are so fire. You guys are really going to enjoy. And I'm going to do more bioactive videos, build videos too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just wanted to shout out Armin from Herptime. He's a fantastic dude from what I can tell. Christ is King, Christ is Lord. Nice to have some other Christians out there in the reptile scene that aren't afraid to say so. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Let me know if you guys need anything. My phone number and email are both on our website, geekygeckocreations.com. For those of you who stayed to the end of this video, let me reward you with a little preview to something new that is coming. Geeky Gecko Creations Collect 'em All shirts. This is our Charmander / Charizard tangerine leopard gecko inspired shirt. We will have multiple colors that you can purchase and collect across light colors, dark colors, bright colors. Like this is called Kelly green, and it's just like this really bright green. There's neon colors and light colors and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, just a little preview for you guys who have hung around this long. This is a new line of clothing that we have coming, and I will do future designs of like Pikachu designs, Bulbasaur designs, right? As well as other things like Toothless and our Sailfin dragons and stuff like that. So it's going to be a whole clothing collection line that is possible for you to get in any size for $25 and anywhere from extra small to 5XL. I made them all just the same price so people could collect as many as they want and get as many as they want. And yeah, I'm just super excited to be able to offer this for you guys. We also have this new system. You can see this little inbox button right here. So I don't want to show who's talking to me right now, but when I click on this, if you message us off the website, so you can see right here on the website, we have this chat button now. If you click this chat button, you can open up a chat with me. And anything from track my order to just asking questions. And yeah, it's just a nice way right there on the website for you guys to be able to reach me if you don't already have my phone number, which is in the chat bubble, 480-299-7657 if you need the quickest reply possible. So in addition to that, we have a new update coming very soon, which I'm working on right now, which is Saturday, July 19th, and should be published by tonight or tomorrow at the latest. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you have yourself a Geeky Gecko great day. Stay safe, my friends, and I'll see you very soon. Peace.